Good morning, bana ba ko gae, my brothers, my sisters. Akere we are bana ba motho. Don't we come from like the same father and mother? Akere the first humans on earth was Adam and Eve, and they had kids. They reproduced, and then from their children was Noah and Noah's family, and then the whole world was cleansed, but Noah still, so the bloodline is still there, but Noah was still alive, and from Noah the whole world was reproduced. So we are actually brothers and sisters. So welcome again to our channel, my brothers, my sisters. um it's such a wonderful time, when you literally make time to speak about, the good news that come from the Bible, because it teaches us so many things. And I really wanted to talk to you today, since I've made time to have make one video. And I wanted to talk about a helping hand. Normally, or not even normally, God says we must help each other, ne? But hey, there are those people, man, can be friends, relatives, or a stranger. You help them once and they want to help over and over again. You know that saying, you give them the hand and they want the whole arm, and they feel so entitled that they're now demanding. And once you've helped them, now they say things like, hey, they say things like, we get ngono, or who do they think they are? That you think you're better than me because you're helping me. And like mutu ujwang, what kind are we? Yeah. For the what of we is for the people of the heart, is of not understand, is that we is for the help each other. Like, I'm reading First Samuel chapter 17, and I'm reading about David, and I realized that David was someone who was so obedient, ne? Being a shepherd, it means you spend your whole day there looking after these animals. you know you literally sacrifice your freedom to look after these animals the whole day, these sheep. And you have to protect them, guard them from danger, from harm. And then late in the afternoons you come back, you bring them back home, and they have to get home safely. And he was very young, so him being the youngest, that was his job, because his brothers were off to war to fight with the Philistines and Goliath, right? And you know, with David being a shepherd, he was also like a very noble person, humble, and was very obedient to his mom. Remember, in First Samuel 17, chapter 17, his mom sent him to go give his brothers bread and pieces of cheese to the captains who were in war, and he stopped his work, didn't tell his mama, "I know if me I go here," like our children of today. He obeyed, took that stuff, ran to go take the bread to his brothers. And when he got there, he then realized, oh my gosh, the Israelites are in trouble. And he was curious. I mean, there was this monster, this monstrous giant of a beast, bullying the Israelites. And they really had no plan on how to get rid of this giant, this monster, like this demon in front of them, called Goliath. And he kept bullying them for 40 days on end, and they were terrified of him. And when David heard this, he kept asking her, so if we kill this guy, there's going to be a reward. And he went to the other, and his brother got irritated, like, "Hey, what are you doing here? And if you are here, when who's looking after the sheep?" And he forgot his little brother came to even bring him bread so he can eat. So he's curious. He just wants to find out what's going on. And King Saul hears about this, and I don't know what triggered King Saul, and he calls him and he's like, "Why are you so curious?" And he's like, "Ah, nankamfetsa namto. Me, I'm not scared of Goliath." And it's like, "How do you mean?" He's like, "Think about it. I look after my sheep, and there are beasts that come to bully me while I'm out there. Lions, bears, and they take away my sheep, and I have to go and fight them so I can rescue my sheep. So I've killed lions now. I've broken their jaws, and bears are. So Goliath is nothing." And he was confident because he knew who he was with. He believed in God, he trusted God, and he knew and believed in his strength. So they gave him an armor. Wabona Solomon, I mean King Saul. King Saul believed in God. He was king of Israel. But he also had faith in his armor and gave it to David and said, "Wear this." And David was like, this is gonna slow me down. I mean, I walk with God, and I will conquer that giant. And he did. Got rid of him just like that. But what happened after? He helped the Israelites, rescued them. They were able to go after the Philistines and kill them. Once Goliath was dead, after he cut off his head, to prove that here's your battle that you were that was challenging you. It's now out of your way, and they killed the Philistines. But now Saul developed envy. He developed jealousy. He was jealous of David. And I've helped people, Lynn, where I would give out things to people, and at the end of the day, instead of them acknowledging that I'm helping from the love of helping them, they go out and say, o nagana gore ke mang yena? Oh, you're helping me because when I rich, you're rich when you're going to give away your things to help me. Fine, I'll take them. No, thank you. No an acknowledgement of understanding that I'm doing a godly thing. And again, I'm not, giving myself accolades. I'm just saying that I've seen it happen with people around me, people that I've helped, where I'm turned into the enemy. Could be in a workplace, you help, you go out, you bend over backwards for people. You try to implement new ways to make their lives easy, and at the end of the day, you are the villain. So my message today, quick and short: don't do things, don't help people for your sake. Help people for God's sake. You are helping them in God's name, not in your name. Because once you do it in your name, it will hurt, and you will develop anger. You will develop I don't know I don't know what word to use. You will stop loving. um you will just start despising a human, because you will see what type of a person they are, and you will understand that the heart is very poisonous. So when you help someone, do it for God. Do it for God, not to receive and receive, but you say, "I'm doing a godly thing." If God was down here right now, he would do this. So I'm representing God. You are helping for or in the name of God, not in your own name. That way it will prevent you from building resentment against these people. That when you help them, instead of acknowledging your help and appreciating and saying thank you, they look at you like, "Who does she think she is?" Because that's a human being, hey? unappreciative. So don't be like King Saul, ne? When people help you, you develop jealousy for what? Be like David. God will reward you in His own time. And when you do it, don't do it because you know there's a reward. Sometimes your journey or your purpose in life is to do that, to come and help and not receive anything. Because remember, yesterday I spoke about Proverbs 8, where Christ was telling us that there are treasures waiting for us in heaven. So you have to realize that you are doing things for God, not for you, not for the next person to appreciate you, not for applause, not for accolades, simply because it's a godly thing to do. Saba, that person who helps people, and then tomorrow you're like, yeah, you are where you are because of me. I gave you this, I gave you that. Leave it. It's okay. Every time, 40, what I realized, when you help someone, they are the ones that become your enemy because you have done so much for them. Now they feel like they feel like they owe you so much. They build resentment. Help, forget about it, move on. That's why the Bible says, even when you go out and give out charity and whatever, don't even publicize it. Going to the newspapers, on social media, taking pictures of you, giving people food, clothes, or whatever. Don't do it. Unless if maybe you had a sponsorship and that sponsor wants proof that you what they gave you, you implemented it to help people. In that regard, you have no choice. There's a sponsor, it's bringing in food parcels or money, and you have to use that money so that you help your community. But the sponsorship needs proof so that when it submits to the company what it has done throughout the year, for their financial year, they have evidence of that money went to a certain NPO or a certain individual who said they'll help the community, and that individual gave them pictures, a report, signatures, whatever. That's understandable, right? Mara, from your pocket, you go, you buy a samp and beef stew, and you make that, and you go give the homeless, and you start taking pictures. There's something wrong there. God doesn't like that. And even if I was the homeless person and you're giving me food, and now I have to pose with a plate of food in my hands, it doesn't feel nice. It's a constant reminder that you are poor and you can't stand on your own. And obviously, no one wants to be caught up in that situation where you are now charity all the time. So just remember David Shem. He was such a beautiful soul. And King Saul tormented him and hunted him for so many years. And David could have killed him so many times. He had the opportunity, but he didn't. So yeah, remember there are a lot of King Sauls out there. So when you help, do it in God's name, not in your name. Because if you do it in your name, it will hurt. You'll build resentment. You'll find yourself being unable to help people. Stay blessed. Hope you understand this one. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. I love you guys. Always honor God. Praise Him. Pray to Him. Remember, He's King over all kings. He's El Shaddai, God of power. He's Jehovah Jireh, the Lord our provider. Keep on praising Him. Stay blessed.